it gives me absolute pleasure to welcome this morning a very good friend of mine. We've known each other well over 20 years, nearing on 30 now, I think. And that is my wonderful spiritual brother, Neil Payne. Good morning, Neil.
Good morning, Karen. Oh, I like that. Yeah, years. We were young then, Karen. We're getting old now.
Do you know what? Do you know what? You must have been, I think, probably early 20s when I first
I
met
was
you.
26 when you knew me.
Yeah, yeah. And I was sort of like in my 30s and, a young mum. Um, and it just seems a lifetime ago, but it doesn't, if that makes sense. It sort of seems sometimes only yesterday. So Neil's going to be sharing some of these wonderful stories, and I'm going to be quizzing him because I do love to quiz and ask him some questions. We're going to be doing some readings throughout the morning. And also, we've got lots of news about what's happening this week on the wonderful SPTV. But first and foremost, it's important to say hello. So you can help me this morning, Neil, with all the hellos. So we start off with lovely Shari Louise. Morning, Shari. Nice to see you. See, we've got all our mates on coming on this morning, which is nice. So hello, Tony. Nice to see you. So
Trying to see who that one was. Hello.
that was Violet. And also we ought to say some hellos on TikTok as well. We've got Lydia Jordan. We've got
Hello,
Liz Muir.
Mandy. Mandy's on there on TikTok. Liz is on TikTok. Morning.
Yeah. We've got Belinda Jones from Australia on Facebook. Oh dear, this is like NASA now, Neil, with Richard and all the screens and everything. He has 5 screens in his house, and I can just cope with the 2 that I'm
Well,
seeing. Oh shit!
you can say good morning to the Facebook. I'll say good morning to the TikTok.
All right, we
And
do it that way. That
we got
sounds a good
Mandy. Good
idea.
morning, Mandy. Thank you for joining us on TikTok.
And we got Bobby C. Good morning, and we got Krish Pillay on Facebook and YouTube.
Good morning, Abby, and thank you for joining us on TikTok too.
We have lovely Michelle on Facebook.
We have Michaela, I think, joining us this morning on TikTok. Good morning.
Thank you, Tony. And Tony has just shared. And that's another thing that we like to do. Keep sharing and caring, because the more you share, um, the more people we can get to know that we are here. So please keep sharing. Hello, Kelly. Lovely to have you. And she's also saying hello to Richard in the background, because we mustn't forget our NASA chief in the background who keeps an eye on things, our lovely Richard. Hello, Julie. Nice to see you.
Hello, Mandy from TikTok. Good morning.
Oh, look, it's lovely. Trevor, he's on this morning. Nice to see you, Trevor. So, if you're new to the show, this is a morning show where we have chats. I host it. You'll see me every week. But I like to bring on some guests, some people that I know that you'll love to hear about, and also who are very good mediums as well. So we talk about topics, we talk about life. I tell everybody what's going on in the SPTV world, all the shows that are coming up, all the news that's happening. And also, we have some lovely recorded segments on the show. We have the wonderful Kate May, who brings on her tarot scope every week, and she gives you a little insight in what could be happening in your world. And also, we have another lovely lady called Kiri, and she brings in some positivity and some philosophy, and she gives a lovely little segment as well. So we sort of break up the day, and I suppose if I can say this, it's a little bit like spiritual this morning. But it's nice to have you all with us. And what we love most of all is for you to be interactive with us and talk to us, because we throw out questions to you about your thoughts as well. Last week we looked at sort of New Year and achievements and funny stories at Christmas. So we love to get your feedback. So it's very much an interactive show. So when I'll be talking to Neil in a little while, we'd love to have your feedback too. One thing I will say before we get started, Richard has produced a wonderful video all about scamming on social media, on TikTok and Facebook. So it's well worth going on either the Facebook. Is it downloaded on Facebook, Richard? And it's downloaded on. Right, so it's there's a recorded segment on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook, and it's well worth a look because it gives you a background how to deal with scammers. And unfortunately, it's everywhere at the moment. So it's been well received by lots of people already. So have a look at that. And just to let you know, also on TikTok, there is a set there. Our page has been closed. So we always do things for free and we never ask for any money or donations. So if you think you're looking at the real Facebook and they start asking you for your pennies, that is not us. So so just be mindful about that. Okay, so we say a few more hellos and then I'm going to quiz my lovely friend Neil. So do you want to say a few more hellos, Neil?
Yeah, I wanted to say good morning to Rain, Psychic Rain. It's Medium Psychic Rain. He's on TikTok. He said good morning to Richard. He said good morning to you and me. So good morning, Rain.
Morning, Wayne. Nice to have you with us. Um, so Violet's just said, have been medium that gives signs that loved one's going to pass and you prevented the passing. Well, that's something that we can have a little come back to that one, Violet, in a little while.
And there was another one before Richard as well. I found quite interesting about passing over.
Right. So you can ask questions. We hello William, nice to have you with us. We ask questions if you have lots of questions. Neil and I will ask them, but what you've got to remember is it will be our experiences and our thoughts and our opinions. So, the thing is with this wonderful movement, lots of people have their opinions because it's based on their experiences. But both Neil and I have been involved in the movement for a very, very long time, as has Richard as well. So we're coming from a good place. And we sort of know our onions, don't we, Neil, to a certain extent. So,
Certainly do. I have to chop them and make it cry.
so do you want? Well, do you know what? Life is a bit like an onion. It can be absolutely flavoursome and absolutely fantastic, but it can make you cry. And if you're not sure when you get a strong one, or sort of like it's quite, you peel the layers off. I use onions a lot in my teaching because you peel the layers off from people on the psychic level and also on the mediumistic level. So Neil, tell everybody in SPTV land a little bit about you.
A little bit about me. So I was in my teenager years. I think I was about 19 when I discovered the world of spiritualism, really. That's what I'm going to call it, the world of spiritualism. And then from that, I lost someone close to me, a dear one. And my mum was already attending this spiritualist church, and I started going with my mum because I was a bit worried about her because I thought she was losing the plot a little bit. She going on about these wonderful messages she was getting from mediums, and I was like, really? And then I went along, and something happened to me, an experience that I went through. It was to do with a dream. Well, it wasn't even a dream, really. I was awake, really, and I saw the presence of the spirit in my bedroom, and it was a wow factor at the time. And from there, I decided to do some exploring on the movement of spiritualism. And I'm still within the movement of spiritualism all these years later.
Wow. Do you know, it's interesting, isn't it? When somebody goes into a spiritualist church or, does something different, looks at different things, it's the reactions, isn't it, of our loved ones and people around us. Because I can remember years ago, I walked past a spiritualist church, my friend and I was only, again, I was a teenager like yourself. and I kept getting pulled to go and see what it was about. So we decided to ask her mum if she knew what the Spiritualist Church was about, and they sort of said, "Oh, don't go in there. You know, it's a bit strange in there." And of course, that as teenagers made us want to go and inquire even more. So we went across the road and had a look. Of course, it was locked because the church wasn't open, but it had the notice board outside, and it has always intrigued me. And years later, I actually ended up serving that church. But I think it's the unknown, isn't it, with people? People have this maybe idea of what
Mhm.
mediums are like, about what spiritualist churches are like. But really, it's a community of people seeking something different or seeking the truth. Wouldn't you? Would
But
you agree?
the weirdest thing, Karen, was when I was 16, I left home at a young age and I was attending college and I was in a house like bedsit.
Yeah,
And where I lived, there was my local church I attended was literally down my road where I lived, literally round the corner from where I lived. I had to pass the church to get to my home. And I
yeah,
remember years ago when I was at college with my mates, we used to go, "Oh, we're not going past that because the ghosts would come out of the wall." So we used to think it was a spooky place. So it's
yeah,
funny how years later I end up attending the church, and now look what I do. So it just goes
yeah,
to show, really,
yeah.
how your sort of thought process changes.
Absolutely. And there was a couple of things I was noticing there. Antonio said Kingston upon Thames is his local spiritualist church. So I was living in Kingston when I was a youngster, but it is interesting. So any sort of what brought you guys into? Have you been to church? Are you just TikTokers? Let's find out your where people's sort of beginning started on thinking about life after death, because when you're a child and you or when you're younger and you go to your first funeral or someone dies, it's the body's either cremated or buried, um, and you see the coffin. I can remember as a child singing at the church to somebody that was quite well known, and we had to go along and sing. And I kept thinking, there's a body in that coffin, there's a body in that coffin. And it just sort of it sort of freaked me out a little bit. But, just thinking that somebody that was, walking and talking and living a life, and all of a sudden they're not, they're in a coffin and they're going to end up in the ground. It's sort of a funny concept, I think, if you're a child and trying to understand that.
Okay, yeah. There was a comment on TikTok, and I saw Richard had highlighted it from Victoria, going on about that she had gone to a spiritualist church, but she was 3 years old, from the age of 3 years old, where she was aware of the spirit world. So isn't that nice to have that,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
to be so young to have that experience?
Well, children sometimes do, don't they, Neil? Sometimes children see spirit, and they don't question it. They can be. I mean, my sister, she pulled around an imaginary dog's lead for years because she said, I've got a dog," but
Mm,
nobody else could see the dog, only her. So Violet was saying that she was 7.
never.
You know, a lot of things happen to us when we're children because we accept it as children. It's only when we grow up we start to, you know, question our
Yeah.
rational mind, if you like, comes into play. So,
I always think it's like, when you're children, you're natural with the ability. And because you
yeah,
haven't got, it's not until you're like older when you go into like older school where parents are then sort of saying to children, "I want you to do you well in your O levels, your A levels, I want you to pass this pass." I think, and that's when it starts like sort of coming out of their ways then. Do you know what I mean? So I think all children have that ability. Every children have that natural ability as children. And it's not until when they're older, because of going through schooling and being pestered by the parents that, I want you to have a career, I want you to
yeah.
do really well. And I think it loses them then. They lose that identity with what we're doing spiritually.
It's interesting because lots of people here are saying that they. Oh, we've got a little bit of feedback
Got
there.
feedback there.
Um, so we've got a couple of. There was just a question a minute ago, Richard, but I couldn't even see the person. But it was about something about spiritual, opening up your spiritual awareness, as well. But the comments are coming really fast at the minute, so it's difficult to hear them all. Yeah. Oh, that was by Ashley. So if you could bring, I think it was on Facebook, Richard. If you could bring that one up again and maybe, oh, Tony. Okay, Tony's. What does it mean when someone says your spiritual side is opening? I've been told this 3 times by 2 different people. Um, that's an interesting one because quite often you go into church, don't you, Neil? And people, and mediums may say that from the platform. What does that one mean to you?
Well, for me, that's like your spiritual awareness. So you have that sensitivity to do with the spiritual awareness of spiritual being, happenings, whatever, you know. That's how I would see that question for me. Um, so quite often people become aware, and it always happens, I feel sometimes, when there's certain parts of people's life when they need to have that as well,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Quite
What's your
often,
take on
actually,
it?
quite often, if you find yourself thinking what happens after death, if you find yourself thinking, I'm, going into a bookstore and picking up a book and about maybe near-death experiences or the life of the medium or things like that, it means that there's sort of like maybe, you know, if you find yourself in a church, it means that you're looking for something within yourself. And sometimes people can recognize that within you. But if you say that you're in a spiritualist church for the first time and you've got an inquiring mind, the medium could be picking up that you've got an inquiring mind and you're at the stage where you're searching. But you would also know that yourself because you're thinking out loud or doing things that you wouldn't normally do that has never sort of bothered you. When things start to, when you start thinking, oh, I want to inquire about that, or what does that mean? It means that you're gradually thinking outside the box. You're thinking about things in a different way. And it's like the evolution of you, your spirit. It's suddenly we go along, don't we, sometimes in life, and we 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 do the mundane, we do things, and all of a sudden something changes. And as Neil said, it could be an event in your life that has made you think a little bit differently. All the events that happen to us, grief, changing circumstances, they make us think. It pushes us in different directions. So, it's a wonderful journey, but always keep your feet on the ground, Ashley. Always have an inquiring mind and don't take everything as gospel. Research, talk to different people, go to see different mediums. Just have that open, inquiring mind because it's a good thing to have. Don't take anything that everybody says as complete gospel. It's got to feel right within you. I always go, if it feels right within me, then it's right for me at that time, and that will be the same for you. So it was 2 different readings I had done. I've been trying hard to connect, but I feel I haven't tried hard enough. Don't try, just allow the information to, just open your mind up and see where it takes you. Just enjoy the exploration. Sometimes I find that if you try too much, too hard, it can sort of stop that natural flow, if that makes sense. Would you agree with that, Neil? Sometimes if you try a bit too hard.
Yeah, I think it just comes naturally. That's what I think. I mean, that's what happened with me. I took the interest in looking at circles. So I was put into a circle, and that was through my mum speaking to the church.
Yeah,
Because my mum was getting a bit worried with things that I was actually telling people. And that's even without developing. So they put me in a circle, and that's how I did, and I just allowed it to happen just naturally. Didn't push
yeah.
for it, just like, okay, we just go with the flow, just see where we go, you know. But
Elaine
quite
on Tik.
often, also, I do feel that people go through this stage in their life when there's a certain aspect of someone that they've lost to the spirit as well that are passing.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people go into churches and they receive messages about, oh, you should be doing this and you should be doing that, healing or mediumship or what have you. And quite often, when I used to run circles in churches, they'd say, oh, I've been told by a medium that I should do this. And I would say, well, do you want to? Because it's all well and good if you've been told, but do you really feel it's right for you now? Do you, I would say to go into discussion groups, do your own investigations, sit and listen, and don't be in too much of a rush. We have this conversation on a regular basis, don't we, Neil, about rushing into things.
Every week, don't we, Karen?
I know, I know. Um, William Barrett's just got something here. I believe we all have abilities. Okay, yeah. Sorry, just getting something from Richard. Okay, 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 okay. All right, I'll deal with William's comment in a minute. So Elaine's just said she developed in circles and it takes years.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Elaine.
And
Yeah,
also, I think it was Elaine as well. I noticed going back that she wants a centre now. She's a developing medium as well, doing platform work, and that quite often happens when someone's involved, one in a place as well.
yes, yeah. It's not easy running a church or being part of a committee either. It's hard work. A lot of hard work um, goes on behind the scene. Um, oh, Shazzle Dazzle just said something here on TikTok. I had to explain. Oops, I had to explain about. Hold on, where's it gone? I had to explain death to my child. Compared it to a snail. The soul goes, but the shell's left behind. Do you know what? Sometimes it's really hard to explain it to children, but I like
Yeah.
that, Shazzle.
Yeah,
It's
because we
okay.
quite often say, don't we, Karen? It's the vehicle. It's like, we're like the car. And then
Yeah,
obviously, like when it's time for us to depart this world,
yes,
our spirit goes off, but the remaining of the body gone, you know.
yes,
So
yeah,
yeah, so I like that. I like that it's explanation,
yeah.
especially to a child as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It is hard. I mean, I had to explain when my dad passed to William. He was my son. He was only 6, and I sort of said, I said if you can imagine a mirror, they can see what you're doing, or a window. I think I said it was a window. They can see what you're doing, but we can't always see them anymore. And also, I think in the Harry Potter books and films, the way that death was described when Harry saw his uncle uh, pass over, it was like through a veil. So it's quite an interesting one, but also um, how some things evolve you and move you forward too. And children deal with things in such a lovely way sometimes. You know, I think we give children understand a lot more than we give them credit for, because they just take it as what you see is what you get. So it's quite interesting.
I remember a time when we lost my nan, and my sister was born into this world, because obviously I have a younger sister,
Yeah,
and she never knew my nan. She never really met my nan. She obviously knew my granddad, but she never knew my nan because my nan had gone, at quite a young age, and I was 19 when I lost my nan. So my sister now is 30, so she was about 1 year old at the time when we just lost my nan. And I remember her saying to my mum one day in the lounge, "Mummy, why are you crying?" She said, "Because Nanny's in heaven with God." And I was like, how would you know something like that at that age? Just
yeah,
nowhere. She said that Nanny was with God in heaven,
yeah, yeah.
and I was like, wow.
Mm, mm. I think there's an interesting reading or an interesting story where a child is about 3 years old, and she says to the parents that she just got a little brother. The mum's just had another baby, and she keeps saying that she wants to have a chat with the baby on her own. She doesn't want
Mm.
mummy and daddy in the room. So they say, okay, you can go and have a chat with the baby. So they do. So she does, but they sort of listen at the door. And she whispers to the baby, um, how's God? I can't see him so much as I did. Is everything okay? Can you still see him? it was just such, it was obviously children are aware of God, and it was just such a lovely story. And I can remember it was Brenda Lawrence actually that read that as a reading at the service, and it just made me think, about how children can um, see and feel things that maybe as we grow, we get more embroiled in the material world. We forget about where we've come from. It's quite, it's quite interesting. It is quite interesting.
Definitely.
It is. So we're going to take a little break now because we have our first little interlude, shall we say, for the morning. And that is with our wonderful outside broadcaster, Kate May. And she's going to give you her tarot scope, her thoughts for the week for you. So stay tuned because I know that lots of you enjoy this on Facebook because you've had it for quite some time. But you all will enjoy it on TikTok because she is a lovely lady and she knows her stuff about tarot and astrology. So I'm now going to say for the first time this morning, Roland Richard, please.
Hello everybody, my name is Kate May, Modern Day Mystic. Welcome to your week ahead tarot readings. Let's have a look at each zodiac sign. It is the 12th and 13th of January. How have we got there so far? If you want to book a reading session or if you want to now book a feng shui analysis with me, you can do so on www.katemay.co.uk. Okay. Aries, your week ahead, you're going for it. Non-stoppable, you're taking things from one stage to another. You are moving fast and things are happening quickly. This is a go-getting card this week, Aries. It's going to suit you because it's fire. So in a nutshell, you're moving things from one stage to another, getting what you want, you're going for it. If ever you need a card to say, this is the week to do it, this is it. You might find that you get swept off your feet along the way in a good way. Taurus. All is not as it seems. Trust your intuition. There's more going on than what meets the eye. You may find, Taurus, that you're a little bit unsettled this week. Your emotions could be a little bit up and down. Any difficult times will absolutely pass. We have got the full moon in Cancer, so you may be feeling a little bit more heightened because of that energy, but do trust your intuition there. The moon can indicate that you'll need to go within, so it could be more of a quieter week where you contemplate and reflect on, especially with the full moon, reflect on what you want and where you want to go and what you don't want. Gemini, sharing is caring. Bonuses could be coming out for you this week, Gemini. There is a lovely flow of energy and fair energy. Now, what you've put into things, you're going to start to get back out. Some of you may find that you're in a position to be very generous. Some of you that are struggling a little bit, if you reach out, you're going to get the help. Help is coming. Support is coming. It's all about a flow. You could be looking at paying your debts and paying your balance off this week as well, Gemini. Cancer, celebrations. We do have that full moon in Cancer. Enjoy yourself, let your hair down, spend time with people you love. Now this is actually Mercury in Cancer, so it indicates there that it's really important to bond with those that you're comfortable with and just be in the energy of people that you feel comfortable with. That's where your success lies this week, particularly with that full moon Cancer. But I do think you're going to hear celebrational news and just feeling like you can let your hair down a bit more. Leo. Or you've got your own sign, your own card, the strength card. So Leo, a week to perhaps hold your tongue, maybe don't scream and shout at everyone, deal with situations in a tactful, gentle manner. That includes yourself as well. Be kind to yourself, be gentle to yourself. Where you could explode, just try to water that down a bit, Leo. But you do have the strength this week to get through anything. You're like a machine this week, Leo. Virgo, new thinking, new directions. You're cutting away from what no longer serves, and there could be some new contracts coming in around you, Virgo, or certainly a new way of thinking, new way of doing things. Really going into more focus this week, Virgo. Anything blurry at the beginning of the week, you seem to have a breakthrough by the middle of the week, Virgo. Libra. Stand tall, stand strong. You're leading the way. You're in a strong, powerful position, Libra, this week. It could be the influence of a female around you that is very excitable, very enthusiastic, but also a very strong and positive leader. Good news is coming this week for you, Libra, in a creative venture. Keep doing what you're doing. Be amazing as you are. I want to say lead the way and go for it. Scorpio, lots of opportunities coming in this week, Scorpio. It's a very busy week for you. May feel that everything is up in the air, but while it is up in the air, it will all fall into place and land exactly where it should be. But be mindful to take those opportunities because as quick as they come in, they could go again. Sagittarius, Ace of Cups, new love, new beginnings. It's a warm feeling, Sagittarius. I just remembered someone that's a Sagittarius. Oh, I like this. Now, the Sagittarius, the Ace of Cups is welcoming good news. So it opens up your heart for love, for joy, for new creative energies. Can be baby news, but anything to do with emotions, it's good. This is a good week for you, Sagittarius. Go for it. Capricorn. You've got all the tools to be able to master what you want to fight for this week, Capricorn. This is really a good week for you to get on top of things, get organised, and know that you have the strength to fight any battles. This card is actually called winning the battle. So you're going to feel like you're getting on top of things and feel like you're making headway. You have the strength and the conviction to really go for what you want and to get what you want this week, Capricorns. Don't let anyone tell you anything different. Aquarius, love is in the air. It could be again that full moon in Cancer, feeling a little bit more sensitive, Aquarius, perhaps tapping into that emotion that we know is somewhere deep in there. Not so much on your thinking, but more on your feelings this week. Also, trust your intuition. You could find, Aquarius, that your intuition is heightened. You're taking things to a new level in either romance, emotions, or in your intuition. So if you work in the spiritual field, which some of you may well do, know that things this week are going to hot up a little bit there. And in that, I want to say you're stepping into a new zone in your spiritual pathway. Aquarians, you're taking the reins a little bit more. You're going to be doing something you enjoy. It's moving forward. Where am I? Pisces, trust your instinct. You have one of your own cards there, the High Priestess. Again, all is not as it seems, Pisces. Perhaps there's some secrets going on. Perhaps there's some hidden things going on. So it's going to be really important that you follow what you feel, your gut feeling. And maybe you want to keep a few things private and a few things secret anyway. Maybe now's not the time to open a can of worms or to let everybody know every single thing there. So be a little bit private is what I want to say. But anything hidden that needs to be revealed will be revealed there. Also, Pisces, I want to say, like, it's time to think about your spiritual pathway as well. Time to think about what spiritually, where your needs being met. And you may find that new doors open, new mentors open, or there's some new learning and studying that comes in on a spiritual level for you. It's big for spiritual people this week. And there you go, everybody. Enjoy, have a great week, and I'll see you next time.
Hello, everybody. Sorry about the little interruption. Richard couldn't work out why you could hear us when it was telling him that we were not on audio, but I do apologise for that. And I hope that didn't spoil your wonderful time with our lovely Kate. So before we get cracking with maybe some readings and also some more chat, I just want to tell you some news that's happening this week. So tonight at 7 o'clock, we have the wonderful Deb Clark. And this is going to be over all platforms, both Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. So we have wonderful Deb at 7, and I know how much you all enjoy her wonderful mediumship. At Tuesday at 7 o'clock on Tuesday, we have Richard, and Richard is going to be on. So that'd be really good. So, and I think he may have people with him. So he may have some guests, so that would be fantastic. So join Richard on Tuesday at 7. On Wednesday, we have the lovely Hannah, and she will be on all channels. And on Thursday, we've got something rather special because we have Emily Baker at 7 o'clock, but at 8:30, we're going to have a special show on TikTok to introduce all the hosts that are involved on SPTV. So there's lots going on. So I will remind you later on of all the things that's happening this week. So we've got Deb, all at 7 o'clock. Deb on Monday, Richard on Tuesday, Hannah on Wednesday, Emily on Thursday, and at 8:30 on Thursday, we have all the hosts coming together for a special introduction show on TikTok. So stay tuned. And all the stuff that happens is always on our Facebook page. So come along and you can always keep a lookout for that. So looking forward to being with you again on Thursday, because I'm going to be one of the hosts that will be joining at 8:30 on Thursday. So it's all happening, Neil.
It is. I was just like taking that all in, Karen.
I know. So, let's tell everybody what you've got planned for this year.
What have I got
This
planned for
year.
this year? I've got a few things planned for this year, to be quite honest.
Mhm.
I'm doing, it's not as if I do enough traveling at the best of times, so I'm doing more traveling. I've got some new places that I'm going to this year, one of those being Bournemouth, Southampton.
Yeah.
Hopefully I may be doing a week in Spain coming up as well later in the year,
Oh,
with my friend
exciting.
Melissa. And also one of the weekends, like one of those mind, body, spirit events with yourself, hopefully in Spain as well at some point this year.
Don't forget Scotland.
Oh yeah, in Scotland, yes, definitely Scotland. Yeah, we got an
We
event in
can't forget
Scotland coming up, haven't we, with our lovely Clara? So
that's in April. Yeah, we
yeah.
can't forget Scotland because we've enjoyed our visits to Scotland. I'm just going to share. You don't mind if I share our train story, do you, Neil?
No, you no.
We will be doing readings in a little while, but I just want to share this story with you all here. It's quite interesting. Neil and I travelled up to Scotland. We were going to do an event with Clara, but sadly Clara couldn't do it because she was poorly. And we decided to we went ahead and did it just the two of us with Natalie Walker as well and Trace Clark, who we met there. And we're travelling on the train. And it's quite interesting because when you travel with Neil, we always take a little bit of a picnic lunch with us. And I was like the child that looks out the windows and says, "Oh, look at that! There's the sea. There's looking at all the views." And Neil is the child that wants feeding on the train. So I've got the little picnic bag with all the goodies in it, and he sits there going, "I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Feed me now." So so he's like a little honey monster that wants his feeding. So we were like two children on the train. And I said, "Oh, well, you must eat now." So he's got a picnic and he's undoing the little back of the box and he's rummaging for all the goodies, and I'm too busy looking out the window. So it just reminded me of two kids on a train journey, like the
You're right
railway station.
there. Right there.
We are, but we've done lots of travelling over the years, and we're not like packers, are we, Neil? You and
No,
I.
no, no.
We take everything but the kitchen sink with us, which is quite interesting. So let's find out, how do you travel, everybody? Do you enjoy traveling? How do you travel? Do you travel by car? Do you travel by British Rail? Let's have your experiences. Trevor's just saying, I have to eat on a train. Absolutely, absolutely. It's true. So let's see if we want to do some readings. Now, what I did last week, Neil, which sort of worked quite nicely, is I chose, because we've got the three platforms now, we've got TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. I tried to make it fair, to choose a reading from each, choose a person from each platform.
Yeah.
So, as you're my guest, I'm going to wonder if you would like to go first. Bernie's just saying she travels by car a lot of the time. Australia, Tegan on TikTok just saying that she travels by car. Yeah, so it's interesting, isn't it? How we all travel, because we're all traveling all the time, whether it be on public transport or in life as
Oh, I
well.
think I've got shares in trains and buses.
Okay. So if you want to, where would you like? Do you want to do TikTok, Facebook, or YouTube, Neil?
I'm gonna go for, because I did see there was a comment on Facebook, someone's birthday coming up, their
Right.
40th, so I'm gonna go for that person.
Okay.
Okay. It's all right if I read.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was quite drawn to the comment anyway. So Richard, can you just take me back to that comment if you still have it, please? If it's someone's 40th coming up. Anyway, so I'm going to start with the message. So I felt that I had a gentleman building here from the spirit world. And I know that this gentleman passed really quickly. He talks about having a heart problems. But I think he had more than just one heart condition, to be quite honest. I feel maybe there was a few leading heart attacks here. And I know that this gentleman is connected here as a father figure. I thought he's granddad. I thought he's granddad here. So I hope that's making sense to the person that I'm reading for. Pardon? Thank you. So I hope this is making sense. But I definitely felt with this gentleman here, passing really quick though. I thought he went into hospital more than once as well. I thought there was twice, two visits to the hospital with this gentleman. And then I feel that he passed after the second visit here. But I definitely thought it's a grandfather. I thought he wants to talk about dad, so I thought he's to do with dad. So it would be dad's dad here. That's the feeling I get. And I feel here, he's talking about like changes going on around you at this moment in time as well. So I know it's your birthday coming up, because I saw that, the comment. But I thought as if there's changes to do with you at this moment. And I feel it's to do with career wise. I feel like study or looking at further education, doing something new, because I just get this new feeling here. So even though you're reaching 40, I feel changes around 40 as well. So I just feel there's new changes going on here as well. So I definitely feel that this gentleman is definitely here for your birthday, to be quite honest, because he's definitely around me to give you a happy birthday thumbs up here as well. Because I think you quite often think of this gentleman that's passed in the spirit world there. I've got to give you the name of Dave as well. So I feel Dave or David is connected to my information here. I'm not saying it's his name, but I know there is a link to this name here. So I just want to leave that with you and just say, enjoy your birthday. And I hope that makes sense. Thank you.
Oh, that's lovely, Neil. That's really lovely. So that's a nice birthday present there. So well done.
And she's
Well done.
going to
Okay.
study primary health certificate. That's good.
Well done. Fantastic. Oh, it's lovely, isn't it? When you can bring through that information. So lovely. Okay. So I'm going to go to TikTok because I was drawn to Sean 06. So I just want to talk to Sean if she's there. So I just feel here, Sean. I'm just going to link with you for a moment, but I just feel here that you are the sort of lady that keeps everything very much to herself. I am aware of a lady that draws close to me from the world of spirit, and I feel here that she wants to sort of like link with you, and I feel that she would have had issues around her chest area, problems with her breathing, and I feel that there's a really strong connection with you, and I feel that you would have spent a lot of time together, and you would have shared quite a lot of like you were sort of like secrets. It was, you know, confidences that you shared together. And you are, Sham, I want to say, a very good listener. I feel that you listen to people, but I also am aware, I'm not sure if it's you, if there's something around the eyes. So I don't know if you've got sort of an issue with your eyes at the moment or something about, oh, hang on, I think I feel here that there's been lots of crying or sort of soreness around your eyes, but you try to sort of hide that. You try to sort of hide away from or you're holding things in here. But this lovely lady, I feel she loved to look smart. She loved to take care of herself. She loved shopping. She absolutely loves shopping. And I just feel here that she just wants to, she's very, very kind. And there's lots of, I just feel that everybody said, what a beautiful soul when she passed to the spirit world. And I feel that you've kept a lot in. And I feel that she wants you to talk to people. She wants you to share how you're truly feeling because you're keeping too much in. So I'm not quite sure, Sham, if that makes sense to you. But I just feel you're keeping a lot in, and she wants you to sort of like have the confidence to actually talk about how you're feeling. And she doesn't want you to be sad. She wants you to have a lot of laughter like you used to, because I do feel that you two would always had a giggle. And she's saying that you always knew when she wasn't right. And now she's doing the same for you. She knows that you're not right. And she knows that there's a few people around that also are worried about you. So she just wants you to enjoy your life. Now, she's also making me aware that you had a conversation about sort of life and what you wanted to do. So I feel also that her life was cut short. I feel she didn't achieve all the things that she wanted to achieve. But she's saying that she don't, don't keep talking about what I didn't do. Focus on what I did do in my life. Because even though I wasn't here for a long time, she enjoyed her life and she was pleased to have you in her life. So I just feel that and she's got a lovely, soft speaking voice, and she's got that understanding about her. You can feel that she cared for people. She cared for animals as well, I want to say. So she's just stepping in here to give you that love, and she wants you not to be sad, and she wants you to um, do all the things that you used to do, and do it in her memory. And I know that she would have loved uh, wild flowers, because I'm seeing sort of, like the wild poppies and the cornflowers. So I don't know if there was a place, or there's been beautiful wild flowers planted in her memory. But I do know she loved the flowers. And just before I finish here, I don't know what they're called, but the flowers that you blow and they all sort of go away. I feel that she would have done that. She would have blown the flowers, and she would have laughed at that, because she's got a great giggle. She's got a fantastic giggle as well. So I hope that makes sense to you, Sean. So take their love, take their love. So okay, let's see. Shall we go to TikTok?
TikTok, yeah.
Not TikTok, YouTube, I should say. We haven't done one on YouTube. So let's see if we're sort of drawn to anybody. Do you want to do a double link now?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's see if we're drawn to anybody. On who have we got on YouTube?
Yeah, I was gonna
That's
say,
it.
I'd like to see
Dandelions.
that.
Thank you, Sherry.
Nicole.
Okay. So Nicola. Okay. So do you want to start now?
Yeah, so I'm aware that I have a lady here, from the spirit world here. And I feel that this lady also, I feel she passed quite young. So when we talk about being young, sometimes people can live over 90, 80, 90, and that's quite, but I thought that she went sort of around 60, this lady. I thought I'm in my 60s with this lady. I feel there was a cancer condition with this lady, and I feel that the cancer had come in. I thought that it was secondary cancer with this lady. So I thought that the cancer was twice with this lady. And I know, as I'm aware with this lady, I feel that she's, because of her age for me being young, I feel like she's like a young gran here. Okay. Um, she's very young to me as I'm feeling her. I also got to give the name of Mary with this lady. I'm not sure if it's her name, but I know that there's a Mary that's being brought into my energy with this lady. Um, what are you getting, Karen?
I'm just sensing into the energies you're talking here, and I've got someone that sort of like to had quite a lot of banter, and I feel that there's a very good sort of vibe about her. She do not song and dance as such, but I feel that she was very quick. She would be, quick one-liners. She knew how to engage. It's fun to be around, and could be a bit, a bit daft and silly sometimes in the way that she acted. She had a lovely energy, and I feel that when you were around her, she would sort of like scoop you up in that energy, and it would be fun. And I feel that she wouldn't take herself too seriously. She might act, she might sort of put silly hats on and do silly things. And I don't know if she used to do this dance or something, but I want to move with her. I want to move, and I just feel that, you know, um, I don't know if she did like that song, hands, knees, and
Up,
toes. I
hands,
just, yeah,
hands up,
yeah.
baby, hands up. That one.
Oh no, there's one that goes hands, knees, and toes, and
Oh,
the
okay, yeah,
proper
yeah.
hands. But also, I just feel that she wants to dance, and I feel that there would have been holidays as well where you would have done those dances and things like that. And also like the okey cokey where you put your left foot in. Right, you understand that. And
Yeah.
she's just showing me this ballroom, this big ballroom in a big like um holiday park or somewhere or hotel, and I just feel that she would be the first one on the dance floor, and someone would have a glitter. She's got, she just put a lovely glitter. Now, I like a little bit of sparkle, as you know, Neil. But she's got this glittery top on, and she's sort of like strutting her stuff for all it's worth.
I got also with that, Nicole, as well, where Karen said about holidays. Now, it took me to like holiday sort of parks here because I got the caravan sort of memories going on here. So I feel as if there was caravans here connected with this lady when she was here, and I thought it was like the family holidays. So I feel the gathering of the family together actually on these holidays as well. So I don't know if you can understand that, but that's the feeling I had, and I was seeing the caravan in my sort of mind as well. So
I just feel here as well that she made great chips, because she's just put a great big plate of chips in front of me here. And it's like, don't tell your mum that you're having big fat chips and burgers. Oh, yeah, we visited caravans when I was younger. But I just feel she'd give you all the things that you weren't supposed to have. Have a bit of chocolate, here's some sweets, let's have a big fat plate of chips together. All those naughty, comforting foods. She was a really lovely nan to be around, because she'd give you all the treats that you weren't supposed to.
yeah, I think she spoiled her grandchildren. Definitely, and I feel Nicole may have been one of her favorite grandchildren. That's the feeling I get because I just feel this strongness between the two of them. So I think as if Nicole spends a lot of time with this particular gran as well.
I just feel it as well. She wants to lift you up. She really wants to lift you up, Nicola. She wants to sort of raise. I've got that song, "You Raise Me Up." So I feel that she's trying to raise you up, and she's bringing in all these memories, because I feel that she wants you to make like McDonald's chips. That's it. But I just feel here that she wants to raise you up, and she wants you to maybe go on a trip, go on that holiday, because she wants you to go on with a group of girls. I don't know if you've been thinking about going on a trip, but she wants you all dancing around your handbags and doing all that sort of thing, and doing the stuff like you used to, like we used to. She's saying. So, she just wants you to, not to be sad. She wants you to, just keep going and do all those fun things. Eat those, have your chips, have your chocolate, go on a trip. I mean, obviously, but this is her, go on, do it, love, do it. She just
And
makes me laugh.
I just had this sense of smell coming in there, and I think it's like a perfumey smell, and it's very sweet. I'm not sure if it's got like a flower in it, like a rose smell type feeling, but I know there's a sweet perfume smell with this lady as well. So I think she was quite particular about her perfume, this lady, because I'm just sensing that sort of smell as she comes in here with her.
Oh, lovely. Well, I hope that's helped you today, Nicola. And thank you for being with us today. So everybody keep sharing and keep caring. And remember to have a look at Richard's video that he's done about scammers on social media. It's a good insight into what's going on. And keep going on our Facebook page, and also joining us on TikTok and YouTube. Oh, it's all happening today, isn't it? Oh, Nicola says, just what I needed. Been feeling very low and lonely. Lots of deaths lately. Well, she's there
Yeah.
to lift you up, Nicola. Definitely there to lift you up. Oh, bless her. So that's nice. So, can I just ask you, Neil? You love what you do, don't you?
I
You love
do.
it.
I do. Yeah, I do.
So, why do you love it so much?
Why? I just think when it helps someone, it's like, like Nicole, the comments she just said there, feeling a bit down at the moment, lots of passings and stuff like that, and it's just nice to know that there is no death. To me, there is no death. They're in the spirit world. They're always with us, you know.
Mm,
And sometimes it's just nice to have that knowledge, that knowing from when you get the reading, that how close they are around us, you know. And I think this is what the work for me is about. It's about helping people that need it, you know.
absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
it's
I've noticed that someone has just said, I think it was Franklin, has just said, how much does this cost? Zero, Franklin. Not no pounds. It's free. So we give free readings on SPTV. We don't charge. It's a free platform. Um, but whoever comes on, we always ask, get them to talk about themselves, talk about life, and also what they're up to and things like that, just so that you can follow. Neil's got a TikTok page. He's got a Facebook page, Spirit Talks. He's always on lots of different Zooms, and he's probably one of the most well-known mediums in the movement because you go everywhere, don't you, Neil?
go everywhere. Yeah, I know a lot of mediums as well over the years, lots.
Um, this is Nixie27 on TikTok. I always thought of it as a gift, but do you think it can be taught?
Definitely,
Good question.
definitely, yeah, definitely. So I believe, for me, again, this is my opinion, that everybody has the sixth sense. Everybody. Some have it stronger than others, um, but we can always choose to learn how to use that sixth sense. So that's my beliefs for me.
Okay. It's interesting because, yes, there are natural mediums out there, but if you think about it, there's natural vocalists, there's natural people that play instruments, there's natural writers, there's people with fantastic ideas, but they sort of like, and they go to college, they go to study, they go to teachers, to bring the best out of them. Great footballers, great sports people have coaches. They have people to teach them because, and this is what happened to us. We sat in circle. We've been on different courses, and it's sometimes people can see your ability and get you to look at things in a different way, but also, and this is something that is a passion with me at the moment, it's how to deliver that information. It's
Mm.
how to deal with people, the recipients, how what to say and what not to say. We have to take response. A medium's job has a big responsibility. So you can't sort of just go up to somebody and tap them on your shoulder and say, I've got your grandmother here. If you're queuing up in the supermarket and say, I've got your grandmother here. It's you've got to take that responsibility and be trained in how to project your voice, how to say things in a certain way, the etiquette of dealing with people, and also giving the best version of the best information from the spirit communicators.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm.
Yeah, it was funny you just said that because I was actually out with someone one day in a supermarket, another medium that actually gave the checkout girl a message, and I was like, "What are you doing?" Well, I went,
Ah,
"Well, you know how it works. That's fine." I said, "But is it the right place to be giving the message when you're doing your shopping and the checkout girl serving you?" You know what I mean?
absolutely, and you have to have time for yourself as well. We live in the real world, and I always say it's like a light switch. You switch on, you switch off. Stephen Laws just said, question, how do you two prepare before a reading? Do you sit in your power? Do you spend time with spirit before you go live? Yes, Stephen, I do. It's sort of like, it's funny because everybody's different the way that they prepare to work with spirit. I go a bit quiet. I sit quietly. I even think about what I need to wear. I always send my own personal little prayer of intention. I set the right intention that I'm going to work for the spirit world. So we all have our own little ways of doing it. I listen to music sometimes. So it depends what I feel that I need, but I do have a little set preparation that I do before I work. What about you, Neil?
So with me, like, so I knew I was coming on today, so I always have my relaxation bath first, and then I get out of my bath, and then I sit and I tune into my CD that I do with everything I do, which is Medicine Woman, which I absolutely adore. It's one of my favorite CDs, and that gets me into my zone as well. There was a question here on TikTok as well from Calon, I think it was. How do you turn it on and how do you turn it off? Which I found quite interesting. So
It is
I
interesting.
so Karen, do you want to answer that one? And I'll go after
When
you.
is it? You see, what I do is I've sort of visualize like a light switch in my head. So I'm like, I visualize light switch, right? I'm on, I'm off. And when I'm off, and I also, Neil will laugh when I say this, is I go, what I do is when I've been working online, like I'll go down, I make myself some lunch. I do normal things. I make lunch. I'll take the dog for a walk. I'll watch my fluffy TV. So I love the TV and I love movies. And I just sort of bring myself back to reality. So I just do normal things in put the washing on. So you're sort of dealing with everyday things, but I just sort of like just say I'm working or I'm not working. People have to find their own way of dealing with that. You can't be, and if I'm out with friends, I'm out with friends. I focus on one thing at a time. When I know that I'm going to be working, or when I'm doing Q&A, questions and answers, or discussion groups, then obviously I'm thinking of working in a different way. I'm thinking I'm working with questions and answers, and drawing on experiences and the wisdom and the knowledge that I've learned. But when I'm working with the spirit world, I shift my consciousness to welcome them into my auric field, and they blend with everything that I know and everything that I do. But there are times you can't be on 24/7. You've got to have your downtime. You've got to live your life as well. So you've got to find the balance when you're working for the spirit world, and you've got to find the balance within this movement as well, because once it's got you, and you think you want to do all things spiritual, and you want to sort of, you see, but you do change your outlook on things. But it's good to actually keep your feet on the ground and to live your real life too. Do you
There
agree
was
with that?
there was another interesting question on TikTok from I'm trying to think who it's from. It was about they were asking about judging. Do you get lots of people judging you when you're mediums? I can't remember. Thank you. Uh, Miss Piggy, that's it. Miss Piggy, I like that name. Miss Piggy 44. Do you get judged for what you do, talking to the dead, being a psychic medium? Well, there's always been this, you still get skeptics. I don't think the skeptic world is as bad as what it used to be quite honest. I believe since COVID, we've had a lot more people coming into this way of life now because I think everyone went through that awakening. Um, but we still get judged. I mean, quite often people think I'm rich. They think I earn loads of money from this work, and I don't earn a penny hardly because I actually work full time in my job. So we do get judgmental, don't we? Judged by people, Karen, in our work.
Absolutely. It's quite interesting when you're out and about and people ask you. Years ago, I used to work full time as well as a sort of like an admin job. And so when people said, what do I do? I'd always say, oh, I work in finance, I work in this. And I would never actually say until I felt right, or it came up in conversation that I was a medium. But you see, now I haven't got anything to hide behind. So when people say, "What do you do?" I am, and I say, I am a medium. But you know what? It's me, it's who I am. So I feel proud that I'm a medium and a spiritualist because spiritualism is my religion, and I feel proud of that, and I embrace it. And that's all part, I think, of embracing yourself as a person. So if somebody says I don't agree with it, I say, well, you're entitled to your own opinion, just as I'm entitled to mine. So not everybody is, if somebody made a beautiful cake, some people would like it, some people wouldn't. And that's life. So you have to take the rough with the smooth and go with the flow. And, if people don't like what I do, that's fine. I don't mind that. But I do, and it's my life, and it's what I do. And I'm proud to be a medium. I'm proud to be a spiritualist as well.
There's another one there. Sorry, Richard. Going back to Victoria, about being abused by her family because of what she did. That's quite sad, really.
It
But
is.
I think we go through that situation as well. Because I know when I became a medium, my dad thought I was bonkers, and he used to say to me, "Take medication," which he didn't know I was actually on medication for certain health issues. So I found that quite interesting. But he didn't believe, he was an atheist, But there you go. It's the way life is sometimes, isn't it, Karen?
It is. It is. And sometimes I listen to people's stories where they've said, "Oh, my family don't talk to me. I don't tell anybody about it." And it's true. It's true. It's very hard, and you do change. You start looking at things differently. And sometimes people around you don't like it when you do change, but we change all the time. We evolve, we get older, we think about things in a different way. I mean, Neil, I'm sure that you're different to how you're different to how you were in your 20s. I mean, you've still
Oh,
got that
definitely.
wonderful, exuberant energy, but you've got that knowledge and that wisdom under your belt as well, you know? So,
Yeah, but I mean, to me, it's like life experiences, isn't it? It's like you go through things, and there's reasons why you have to learn that lesson, you know. And that's for me, when we class ourselves spiritual, um, or yeah, spiritual, I would say, because you don't have to be a spiritualist to be spiritual, okay? And I think that's part of our spirit that we have to go through. Our spirit has to go through that journey.
mm, mm. It's interesting. Some people say that if I knew what I'm going through, I probably wouldn't come. Yes. Richard, somebody's just saying there's an intruder online. I don't know if you've seen that. Oh, right. Okay. Okay. Oh, it's gone a bit blurry, so I can't read it. Right. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Right. So Becca Rose, I can't. I'll have to come back to that, Becca Rose, because I can't read it. I can't read it. But okay. So we're going to take a little break now, and we're going to listen to the wonderful words of wisdom from our second outside broadcaster, the lovely Kiri. So when you're ready, Richard, roll them, please.
Hi there and welcome to Positive 5 with me, Kiri. So this podcast is where I talk about different things that I like practicing in everyday life, maybe weekly or monthly, just some regular activities that I like doing to help make me feel a bit more positive, to set me up for the day, for the week. And yeah, it just helps increase my well-being feeling and health and mental health. And yeah, helps me feel more in a positive mindset. So I thought I'd share a few of the things with you. And it's only 5 minutes, so it's not too long to sit and enjoy and relax and invest time in yourself. So hopefully you'll feel more positive after this. That's the aim. So today's one is all about expressing gratitude. So it is talked about a lot, and it does seem a bit sort of oh, can we do this? Is it a bit far-fetched? Is it a bit wishy-washy? But no, it can be really, really simple, really simple things of life, because we are so used to sometimes thinking, oh, what we haven't done, we're really down on ourselves, we beat ourselves up about certain things. Oh, I'm no good at this, I didn't do well at work today, I didn't achieve that things to do list. And we're so used to telling ourselves what we didn't do, or what we can't do, or what we haven't achieved and what we haven't got. But the idea of gratitude, just switching that mindset around, reframing ourselves and thinking about the things that we did do. Obviously, there are going to be bad things in the day or things that we didn't do, but it's not about ignoring that or saying that the day went perfect and everything's really amazing. But it's acknowledging those sort of bad things, but also really focusing more on the good things that we did. So what did we achieve? Did we make some progress at work? Did we make some progress with the kids? Did we, did the sun come out? Did our husband make us a cup of tea in the morning? It's focusing on those good things in the morning that will really set us up for the day. And like I said, it can be small little things as well, like there's no rain on the school run for a change. Just acknowledging the good things in the day that happened. And you can do this by writing them down in a journal maybe, or saying them out loud. I do prefer definitely getting pen to paper and writing things down. So it might be 3 things in the morning that I'm grateful for, and at the end of the day you can do the same in the evening. And it might be try and think of things that are different every day, and things that are new for that particular day. So at the end of the day, or what went well today, and what quality did I show people, what do I want to achieve tomorrow. And it's just that thinking about those little things that we did well on rather than the things that we didn't do so well on. Definitely we can think about reframing the challenges, and like I said, don't ignore the hard stuff. We could ignore them, but we can say maybe, oh, it could have been worse. It didn't rain on the whole of the school run, it only rained half of it. And the other day we went away for the weekend with some friends, and it had been raining quite a lot recently, and then the sun came out on our walk, and we had a little walk by the river. And I said to everyone, oh look, the sun's out, we're getting some vitamin D. It's the simple things like that that we can feel grateful for that is key to that particular day. And everyone did look at me like I was mad, but I hopefully helped them feel a little bit more positive about the day too. And that was the idea. And the science says it's really, really good for our mental health. If we get in the habit of expressing gratitude, it not only makes us feel better, but can rewire our brain with lasting effects too. Opens up our perspective, helps us to focus more on the positive and appreciate about the positives rather than think about all the worries in the day. And it helps with our sleep as well, because if we're thinking about positive things and how well the day went, or the little aspects of the day that did go well, hopefully at night we can think about those things rather than thinking about the things that we aren't as good at or we didn't do well on. So let's think about the progress that we've made and those things that we are good at. There's going to be things that everyone's good at, that everyone's improved on, and it's just about rewiring our brain and reframing our mindset to think about that. It'll make you appreciate what you have, it'll broaden your mind, and it will help hopefully with future goals as well. So start a journal maybe if you haven't already, or just say a few things out loud. Think about it in the morning to start off with, and then hopefully it will expand into the rest of your day and help you make that day a little bit more positive. And yeah, to try, express gratitude, let me know how you get on, and hopefully you'll be rubbing off on people as well. And I'll be back again for another one very soon. Thank you so much for listening.
Hello again, everybody. Wasn't that wonderful with our lovely Kiri? She's really advanced or enhanced, I should say, the show with her insights. So I hope that you all enjoyed that. We're just going to touch on a couple of comments here. And I just want to draw attention here to Becca Rose on TikTok. Now, Becca, please apologize because I can't read all the comments very well because it's gone all a little bit blurry. But I know Neil's been having a look, and this is why, and I understand that you're sort of skeptical where mediumship is concerned. I get that. We all understand that, you know, and it's good to be skeptical. It's good to have an open mind and not to be trusting that, you know, that what a medium says is absolutely gospel. And that's why I said it's about the evidence. Did that medium bring through your loved ones without where you could say definitely? You believe that to be a communication from your loved ones. I get that, and it's good to have an open mind when you go for a reading. I say that to everybody. So it's good that you're skeptical. It's good that you're questioning, because that's absolutely great. That's how you learn. That's how you grow. And that's also one of the reasons that Richard's done this video, is so that you can see, you know, about scammers and people that are trying to make money. You know, I hate it. I hate it as well. It's not fair. I do what I do because I love it, as does Neil, as does most of the people on here, and also the people that I know and respect in mediumship. So go with, you know, explore this journey with an open mind and question. And so it's good that you're on here. Oh, it's got a bit clearer now. I can actually see some of the comments. It's good to be skeptical. It's good to have an open mind, and it's good that you're asking questions on here, because it's, you know, it's, you're seeking something. You want some validation. You want to understand it, and that's what we did, didn't we, Neil?
Yeah. I mean, I was reading the comments, and I just thought, you know, it was quite a civilized conversation, to be quite honest, you know, because that is one of the things that, you know, sometimes we do face against, Karen, don't we? You know,
Oh,
people
we
do actually
do.
say that sometimes. I know that, you know, people go, "Oh, you read people's minds," and stuff like that. And you know, if you're a true medium, you're working in the true light of the spirit, the essence of the spirit, then that doesn't happen, you know. I think if someone's not really true to their work, then yes, it does happen. But I think you have to seek out people, don't you, Karen? So I know even me today, so many mediums out there on the field, I say they're like ants coming out of the woodwork now, mediums, right? But I still seek out for the mediums that I like.
Absolutely. You know, for all of you out there, go and watch different mediums. Go where you feel that you're drawn. I just want to say good morning to our lovely Clara, and also good morning to Shaz Fairy. Lovely to have you with us this morning. Yeah, go and seek out, you know, who you feel drawn to. I can remember when I was first involved with this, I went to a small mind, body, and spirit fair that was on in a local village hall. And I walked round the hall about 3 times until I felt drawn to the right reader who I wanted to have a reading with. Because we forget that we are you know, we're intuitive, we are spirit in a physical body, and go trust your instincts, you know, trust your knowledge, and but have an open mind, because there's not just within mediumship or life after death, there's so many things that we don't understand in the world. There's so many things that we don't understand with our minds. There's so many things that we can explore, you know what, which is great. I absolutely love things that you're learning every day. And Tony here has just said, how do you deal with family not supporting you? I'm going to pin that one to Neil because you've had it, Neil. So how did you deal with that?
With my family, just get on with it, basically. You know, so my dad knew what I did, and we wouldn't talk about it, we wouldn't discuss it, and it wasn't till like later, 2 weeks before he had passed, he started talking to me about the spirit world, you know. So there was a fear thing there with my dad, because my dad was too scared to go to sleep at night in those 2 weeks, because he was having these odd dreams about death. to be quite honest. And he thought it was his mate, and it turned out it was my dad, you know. So in the end, he came to me just talking about the spirit world, just like I think getting some reassurance. So sometimes I think, you know, when it is family members that don't believe, at some point things will happen, but they will come around.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it was Debbie Callow that just mentioned about energy cannot die. That's true, and we are energy. So that's a valid point. It, you know, Google it scientifically at first. Start at the beginning. We are energy. Energy cannot die. So that's your first step. Look at it from a scientific background. And if you go back with the study within mediumship, years ago, scientists of the era, they actually did a lot of scientific experiments on mediums, and they wanted to investigate this phenomena. So I think there was a lot of science done back in the day, and even sort of hardcore journalists and skeptics. Maurice Barbanel was a journalist and didn't know that he was a medium until he started to investigate, go with his investigation head on, and then found that he was actually a medium himself. And some of you may have heard of the spirit guide Silver Birch. Well, he was brought in through the mediumship of Maurice Barbanel. So study, go back in history, read, look at things, understand where it all started, and it takes you on a little bit of a journey. Yes, there are. I'm sure there were um, frauds and people that tried to make a buck. But there's some definitely true people out there, true mediums that don't, and try their best to bring through the love of the spirit. So Clara's just said lots of my family don't support this journey for me. They are Christian beliefs, and you know, it can be hard. So yeah, so it's no talking of dogma or religious beliefs. Took 20 years to get to this stance. It's an upward struggle for a lot of us because
Mm.
we love our families, we love our friends, and we want them to join in the journey, but sometimes it's not to be. So there you
Should
go.
we do another message, Karen? Should we do one together?
Yeah, okay. Let's just see. So where are we going to go? Facebook, TikTok, or YouTube? Where'd you
You
fancy
can
going?
choose this time.
Did we do one on Facebook last time? I can't remember if we
I
did.
think we did, yeah.
Did
I think
we?
we did,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, we had
Right.
Nicole, didn't we, on YouTube, was it?
Yeah, and then you had somebody on YouTube, and I did TikTok as well. So I think we better go to Facebook this time because I don't think we've done one. I thought we did. So there you go. So Richard, can I have some names on Facebook, please?
It's
Well,
Ashley there. Can we go to Ashley?
I've just got a mum. I've got a mum here in the spirit world. And I do feel that she was a very passionate mum and was very protective. So, Ashley, if you can understand mum in the spirit world, she reminds me of, and I feel that she loved to get a point of view across as well. And sometimes she would get the wrong end of the stick and get herself into some hot water sometimes. But I can just feel this passion for her family. And she's taken me to a memory here of standing up for her kids when someone was I don't know, somebody came banging on the door and said, your kids have done this and your kids have done that. And I just feel here that she would be very protective and not listen to what someone's saying until she got both sides of the story. So I feel then she'd come in and she'd sit. I've got like a brother and sister here. She'd sit the brother and sister down and she'd sort of fold her arms and say, right, now tell me your side of the story. I just want to fit. She's just making me aware that she was very fair. Fairness was sort of like her middle name, and but she's also got a great sense of humour as well. And I feel that her daughter is quite like her. There's this feisty character about her daughter as well. So Ashley, I don't know if you can understand that. If you can just let me know if you can. What are you picking up, Neil?
I was going to say, I thought it was Nan. Okay,
Right,
I did
okay,
feel it was Nan.
okay,
And I do feel it's mum's mum, though, Ashley is
right.
quite. I thought it's your mum's mum. Okay, um, but I feel with this lady as well. I just feel that her health really deteriorated quite quick. It was really unexpected with this lady, okay? And I feel there was still a lot of sadness here. There's still a lot of emotions, a lot of sadness of how she passed to the spirit world here, okay? I feel as if there was like miss one diagnosis here as well with this lady's ill health conditions here, okay? And I just feel with this lady, like Karen said, I feel that she was a bit of a lady that was like the soul of the party. Now, she would be ideal for me to go out with because I love people that have got energy, that like to enjoy themselves and are out. And I do feel that she is the soul of the party, this lady, when she's out here. And I also feel with this lady here, and I don't know why, but I get the name of Jill here as well. And I don't know why I get that. I don't feel it's to do with her, but I am aware of the name of Jill that comes in here as well. So when I work with mediumship, I always get these names that come in with the energies of the person I'm working with. Okay. So I just know that the name of, but I know she was fun. That's fine. And I just know that the name of Jill here comes in here as well. Do you know with this Gran as well? She had this really like I don't know, she's very encouraging, I want to say, Ashley. She would have been a lady that was quite encouraging, even though you're saying she's firm, but she's quite encouraging for family here, okay? So I feel that she would be pushing you into like directions in life now, okay? Because I just feel that she's very encouraging in that aspect as I work with her. All right. And she comes in, and I do know that she's talking about our handbags here as well. So I just feel that there was something, a memory with a handbag or someone buying a handbag, or she wasn't happy with a certain handbag, but there's a thing strongly about a handbag here. Okay. There's definitely a thing about the handbag here. Yeah, it is her mum's mum. Okay.
Mhm.
Anything else you've got there, Karen?
I just feel here that you've been sort of, actually, you've been weighing up pros and cons here about what to do and what not to do. And she's saying, stop sort of being a little bit indecisive. She wants you to make the decision. You know what you want to do in your heart of hearts. And she's saying, now's the time to sort of make this decision. She's smiling. She's got like a sort of like a cheeky smile. And I feel that she would sit back and she would watch all what was going on here. And she's sort of like laughing. But I just feel here that that she had some issues around her chest and also around her stomach area. And I just feel that she just wants to say that she's still around, that she's still thinking of you all, and she just wants to send her love. And I know that she's taking me to September, the end of September, around the 29th of September for an anniversary. And I feel that she's still remembered. People still talk about her quite a bit. But she's saying that, now make your decisions. It's like you wake up one morning and you think, I'm going to do this. And right, you make a decision, and then somebody says something to you, and then you go pondering again. And she's saying, don't waste time. Time is precious. She wants to keep saying that to you, Ashley. Time is precious. So she just wants you to enjoy your time and do what you want to do. And don't worry so much about other people. So I hope that makes sense to you.
I'm just going to come in here because it was really weird what I was getting here as well. Now, when you get like you save coins and you put them in the big jar, okay? I just got to bring this in, Ashley, here. So there's something about saving the coins, like a jar collection type thing, and you're saving coins in this jar. I don't know if that's something you're doing at the moment, or whether there was a memory with this, but I know I've got to bring this in here. I know I'm saving coins in the jar. There's a memory with a coins in the jar here as well. Okay, so I just wanted to leave that with you. Done.
Okay, that's lovely. There's still quite some interesting back and forth going on
Yeah,
about
I quite enjoying some of the things that Becca's saying, to be quite honest,
yeah,
So
yeah.
that it's civilized, it's quite nice. So.
Mm. Okay, okay. So Richard's just going to come on here because he wants to say a few words. So we're going to welcome Richard. Can you all hear Richard?
No, they're
Can you
saying I
just let
can't
us
hear
know?
anything, Richard.
Oh, they can't hear you.
Can you
Okay.
hear me and Karen, guys?
All right. Okay. Yeah, definitely. no, that's what it. Do you know what? I think we do need a good debate about things, and I'm all for a discussion group because um, I know, Becca, that myself, Neil, and lots of people, we keep working on our mediumship. We try to bring through as much evidence as we can so that people do believe that that their loved ones are there. And I would say to you, do your research, go back in history and research the science studies that have been done in mediumship and that are still happening. But it's sort of, they keep it a little bit quieter now because of the social media platforms. But there are um, science practices and tests being done on mediums a lot. There's been um, books written about it. There's been near-death experiences. There's been lots of things that where they cannot explain um, why these things happen. So I think, and that's the wonder of this world sometimes. There are things that we cannot explain, and maybe we're not meant to explain it. But if you want to ask any questions, Becca, please private message me as well. I've got my own TikTok page. You can all search for me, and Neil as well. But we can only answer those questions from our own experience. But we have been around this movement for quite some time. So we welcome your questions. We welcome you to this show because it's important. Yes, I agree. There is a lot of people that shouldn't be doing it out there, but we do it from the heart, and we do it and on this channel. We do it for free. So, and that's an important thing to consider as well. And all we
Yeah,
can do
Bonnie
is
asked a
try our
question,
best.
Karen. Bonnie asked a
Yeah.
question about how would you find a genuine medium? What would you do? How would you go around looking for a genuine medium?
Well, it's recommendation, Bonnie, really. You could maybe ask people that have had readings. You could go to your spiritualist church. Um, I mean, years ago it used to be go to your local spiritualist church, but because since lockdown we've had lots of Zooms come up and lots of things online. If you can't get to a spiritualist church, um, here on SPTV, that's a good place to start. But there's lots of Zoom services, there's lots of live channels. What I would say to you, Bonnie, is just go and watch and see what you think. You use your own discerning nature and see where you feel drawn to. There's mind, body, and spirit fairs, but and also SPTV has a directory as well with the mediums that do work on here and lots of other mediums. And as Richard said, he doesn't put anybody on here or in the directory. But you can go to a spiritualist church, and that's probably the place that I would recommend, and talk to people and ask your questions. But most importantly, see how it feels for you. Trust your own instincts. Well,
Definitely, definitely.
so, oh, it's been quite a morning, hasn't it?
It has. Okay, so we'll go back to Bonnie's question there. So can we just go back to that, Richard? Thank you. Thank you for yeah, so where's it the one?
There it. Oh, it's gone all blurry again.
Okay, so I believe here as well. I've had people that say to me, "Oh, I don't know. I don't think I've got anyone that would come through because I don't really know anyone that's passed." But there's always someone that has passed that you would know, and it could go way back in your family. Okay, but that person would still want to communicate, I believe, because that's what's happened to me, especially when it's someone that's younger and they haven't had many people pass. But there's always like a great grandparent that probably has, or a grandparent that probably had before they were born. So I do believe that there is always someone for someone. Would you not agree, Karen?
It's interesting you say that because, Bonnie, because I went to the spiritualist church. Probably I've been going 6 months to a year, and I hadn't actually received a message. All my friends that I used to go with, they used to get messages, more than one message, and I'd be sitting there, and my friend said to me, "Have you got anybody in the spirit world?" I said, "Yeah, of course I have. I've got family, I've got friends." Anyway, one day I offered to help uh, with the back of the church with doing. There was a raffle going on. It was a demonstration, and I was doing the raffle tickets at the back of the church. And all of a sudden, the medium that was on, she was a very well respected medium. And I didn't, and because I'd not received the message, I didn't expect one. So I was sitting sorting the raffle tickets out, and all of a sudden, the medium said, and she knew my name, but she didn't know anything about me. She said, Karen, can I come to you? And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get a message. But the evidence that came through was absolutely brilliant. She gave my grandfather's name, details about him. Now, I didn't know my grandfather because he passed before I was born, but I knew quite a bit about him because my nan used to talk about him a lot, and as did my mum. And the funny thing is the information she gave me to start off the message I could understand. But the rest of the information wasn't actually for me, it was for my mum. And the funny thing was, my mum was supposed to come with me that night, but she was poorly, so she stayed at my house. She didn't come. So she said, "Oh, I'll just stay at home. I don't want to go to the church." And the wonderful thing was that the messages were written out at the church. So I took the message home, and everything that I couldn't take, my mum could. Now, my mum wasn't there, so there was no cold reading or anything like that. They couldn't read my mum because she wasn't there. And I didn't know that person in the spirit world because they died before I was born. So that proved to me that that was evidence from my granddad. And he came through and shared and my mum could say, yes, I understand this, I understand that. So I contacted the medium and I told her, and I said, you don't know what that meant to my mum and to me, because at that time I was still a little bit skeptical. So it was, and I've never forgotten that reading 30 odd years later because it meant the world to me. So yeah.
And yeah, that's so true, because I remember when I went to my church, when I started finding the spiritualist church and going on my journey, and I had a reading one day, and I'll never forget it. And this medium was giving me this reading, and they were giving me like a name. They gave me the middle name of this gentleman, and I had no idea who he was. Okay. And they said, well, will you ask your grandparents about this gentleman on your dad's side? So I said, yeah, I will do. So on that particular day, I think it was about a week later, I spoke to my grandma, my dad's mum, and she was like, and she was a spiritualist years prior, but then she became quite skeptical because she was sitting in development circle and she weren't getting anything, but she wasn't a really nice lady, to be quite honest, personally, but there you go. Anyway, so on this particular day, I said to her, can I ask you a question now? And she went, yeah. I went, can I ask, do you know John James? And she fell out of her chair, right? And she went, here, you've been going down that church down the road with your mother, haven't you? And I said, well, do you know who this man is? Because he's come through. And I just what she said, that is your great grandfather. And even your dad doesn't even know what his granddad's name is. So
Oh wow.
that's the source in itself, to be quite honest, you know.
Yeah. Do you know what's also interesting? I had a similar thing. Now, the grandfather that came through, my nan had always referred to him. His name was Frank. And then a few years when I was sitting in a church, somebody said to me, "Your grandfather's name's Frederick George." I'm going, "No, it isn't." I couldn't take it. So anyway, I was going through some stuff after my mum passed, photographs, and as I was going through this big photograph album, this paperwork fell out. And inside was some paperwork to do with my grandfather's service record when he was in the war. And it said Frederick George Thompson. He was known as Frank, but his real name was Frederick George. So
it's amazing, really. It's amazing what you actually find out and get told sometimes, you know. But we've been lucky, Karen. We're probably out of so many people, we've had that information, we've had our evidence, you know, but other people need to find theirs as well.
But also, it's interesting because we've had that evidence. We remember those stories. We remember that evidence. And for me, I love getting a message from the spirit world, but I know that they're around. And when you know that they're around, you don't need the evidence as much. I don't. This is just me personally. Doesn't go for everybody. But when you know that there is, when you know that knowledge, I think then it starts to make you realize about your own journey, about your own spirit as well, and how powerful we are as people. When I go back to how I was when I was in my 20s, I was like a little mouse. I didn't say boo to a goose. But now it's like you come into your own power, you come into your own who you're meant to be, the person that you're meant to be, and not sort of appeasing other people all the time as well. I think it's like I think there was a lovely quote in a film I watched, which was based on a true story. A woman of a certain age is like a sunflower. It takes her a while to come into full bloom, but when she does, she's amazing. And that was a quote from a film I always remembered. And I watched that and I thought, yeah, sometimes it takes a person a while to come into their own bloom, like to bloom like a sunflower. But however long that takes, don't give up hope on yourself and just keep going and
I'm just
stop.
going to say goodbye to Becca Rose because I think she's going now.
All right,
She
okay,
said she
Becca. Well,
might be
thank
available
you.
tonight, but again, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing
Well,
your thoughts with us as well, Becca.
absolutely. Thank you, Becca. And please come on again next week. We welcome your comments. We welcome your thoughts. So please join us again. It's lovely to have you. Thank you. So yes, it's you know what? This is what we need to be challenged sometimes because we just think that everybody goes along with it, and maybe it's good to be challenged. Don't you think?
Definitely.
Yeah. I just want to remind everybody again what's coming up, just in case you missed it in the first part. So tonight we have the wonderful Deb Clark, and she will be on here giving her readings, chatting to Spirit. That's at 7. Tomorrow we have Richard online, and he may have a few guests on. You never know. And that's at 7 o'clock as well. And Wednesday we have Hannah, and she's on at 7, so don't forget that one. And on 7 o'clock, we've got two shows. One at 7, on Thursday, we've got 7 o'clock with Emily Baker, and 8:30, there is a special show where Richard is going to be introducing all the posts to TikTok. So please come along. And I'm going to say it again, these readings are done absolutely free. We don't ask you for money, and we won't on this channel. Please also follow myself and Neil on TikTok if you want to. You can have a look, see what we're doing. I'll be honest, I do advertise stuff on TikTok and Facebook just to let people know what we're up to, as does Neil. Neil, you have a group chat, you have a group page as well, don't you,
I
on
have a group
Facebook?
chat on Facebook, yeah, called Spirit Talks. So everyone, it's an open-minded chat place. So we have lots of people on there, so that's quite nice. Yeah.
And you advertise for other people as well, don't you?
I do a lot of advertising for other people, especially what's going on Zooms for people with services and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you travel around the country serving churches. How many churches, just a ballpark figure here, how many churches have you served?
Oh, I've lost count. I'm not as busy as I used to be from years ago. I've cut a lot of my travelling down compared to every week I used to be out serving somewhere. But I've served quite a lot of churches up and down the UK.
And you just get on a train or a bus or a coach and off you go, don't you?
And off I go, yeah, with all my problems I have on my journey, but part of my parcel of my work.
I think you could, never mind writing a book as a medium, I think you could actually write a book as travelling around the country. And Clara's just said here, I believe mediums should be challenged to know who they have, i.e., mum or gran, and cannot ever describe a communicator's hurt the vulnerable members of the public. Absolutely. And that's why Clara is a teacher. She runs an open circle on Thursday on Zoom. and I teach, Neil teaches, and it's important to, if you're going to embrace the world of mediumship, get the right teaching, and have the right understanding and the right intention. Would you agree, Neil?
Yes.
Yeah.
Michaela, I do come to Wales. Karen used to, but I still do come. And there are plans for me to come to Wales to serve a couple of places, possibly maybe this year as well. But I'm looking at that at the moment.
We used to run courses, didn't we, Neil, at Hackney College? But
Happily
it's
Coy, yeah, and I missed that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's closed down for. I think it's still a B&B, but it's not a spiritual centre anymore. So yeah, that was a little bit sad because we were there 3 times, weren't we? We did 3 courses there, 2 of our own and one with our friend Carolyn. So yeah, we used to really enjoy Wales. So that's good that you're going back. I think I might be going back at some point as well. So it's all good because Wales is such a beautiful place. We have some lovely places in this country, and in the United Kingdom, as well as there's beautiful places abroad. But it's nice to explore, isn't it? And
it
work
is.
in different places.
Is, because when I first, I thought, oh, I don't think I would like Wales, but I quite like Wales. I love it's so different when you're in Wales and the countryside and everything, and even just going shopping in Aldi's, Carol. Remember our very first experience? We went to Aldi's and it was
We
listening
did.
to the Welsh accent, how they were talking in Welsh, and I was like, oh, interesting.
Absolutely. It is.
Oh, really?
Oh, sorry about that, Christopher. That's not good. That's not good. I'm sorry you had that bad experience. Well, just see if you're interested, see if there's somebody else that you feel drawn to, a good quality medium. I mean, Neil and I did our study at AFC. Trevor's just said, can't wait for Spirit Quest. Okay, so AFC is the Arthur Findlay College of Psychic Studies, and it was gifted to the Spiritualist National Union, which is a big organisation within spiritualism, by Arthur Findlay. And Arthur Findlay was a writer, and he was a wonderful man that studied mediumship, worked with mediums for many years, and because of his faith and because of the work that he'd done, he gifted the beautiful Stansted Hall, which is in Stansted, Mount Fitchett, Essex, to the Spiritualist National Union to further the development of psychic studies. And it's been around it's been a college since 1964, I believe, when he
Yeah.
passed. So, and Neil has actually lived there for a while.
Well, I worked there. I worked there for a few years. I was the bar manager and worked in the dining room. So I got to know some of the great mediums. That half of the mediums there now have either retired or they're in the spirit world now. Um, but it was a lovely place to visit. Lovely grounds, the tulip tree. They do have an open week every year. They have one coming up in April, and that's for a whole week or 4 days at least. So you can book on the day if you want to go to explore the college, explore what sort of things they do there, how they teach, and stuff like that. So yeah,
I mean, there's some wonderful places for you to explore. There's a great weekend coming up in February called Spirit Quest, which is organised by a very well-known medium called Keith Charles. People may know him as the Psychic Cop because he was a policeman, but also a medium, and he gives fantastic evidence. And so that's in Weston-super-Mare at a big holiday camp. So all us spiritualists and mediums take over the holiday camp for the weekend, and we have great fun. There's some wonderful workshops, private readings, and it's good fun. But there's also I visited last week a beautiful hall in Yorkshire called Holme Hall, and that has been opened up as a spiritual healing centre. by somebody who also Neil knows, a gentleman called Steve Barry. And he used to have a college years ago in Norfolk called Colston College, where Neil used to
I go
work.
way back with him as well, over 20
I
odd
know,
years.
yeah. So he's just opened up this wonderful place, and it really is a great place to work. It's going to be a great, it's just starting off, but it's going to be a great place to develop and go for healing. So that's Holm Hall. And they also have got a Facebook page, Healing at Holm Hall, as well. The Arthur Findlay College has a Facebook page. So explore, you know, check out all these wonderful things that are at your fingertips. There's so much more out there than what there used to be when we first started off. Yeah, don't you agree?
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, so we are very lucky. And yes, Suzanne, he's going to Spirit Quest this year. So I think we've come to the end of our time with you all. So I just want to say thank you to Richard for hosting and being with us and doing all the stuff behind the background, because I don't know how you do it. I struggle to look at TikTok and Facebook and YouTube.
Well,
And
we make him work harder now because he has to find the comments now.
well, you see, yeah, exactly, exactly. And Neil, can I just say thank you for being with me today? It's been really nice to have you, because we have worked quite a lot together over the years. So it's really nice to have you here with me today. So will you come back, please?
Definitely, of course I will.
I know you've got your job.
Just to make Richard work harder on TikTok, trying to find the comments.
So if you get another Monday off, let me know, and you can come on and be our guest, because I think everybody's enjoyed having you on here with us. I know I have. So it's back like old times again, because we used
Yes,
to
I've
do
enjoyed it,
a lot of
and it's
live.
nice. And it's nice meeting different people as well. So, and for those that have taken part in our subject today, because we didn't know where we're going to be going with what we're going to be talking about. So it's gone from one to the other, which has been quite nice.
It has, because as usual, we just go with the flow. And can I say thank you to all of you, our wonderful SPTV family on YouTube, on Facebook, and of course now on TikTok. So I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. And we will I'm going to say goodbye, and it'll be same time, same channel next week. And have a fabulous week, everybody. It's been lovely. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye. Take care. Have a nice
Take care.
week.
Have a good week. Look after yourselves.